We need to get back to the basics with food. Before eating, understanding the digestive system and how it works. Because if you don't, you can eat healthy as you want, it ain't gonna benefit you. Because it's gonna suffer fermentation, putrefaction. It's gonna turn into a toxin. It's gonna make you ill if you're not eating correctly. That's why a lot of people they don't survive their vegan diets. They don't survive their raw vegan diets. They don't survive their fruitarian diets because they do not assimilate their food right. Because they do not eat in correct combinations. They don't understand their digestive system. The best rule for food is, what combination is, don't do it. We the only people do it. And domesticated animals. Other than that, we don't see no animals combining food. Going to eat one type of animal and get another type of animal and another and put it together and make a meal. They don't do that. We got 5 juices that's responsible for breaking the food down into a colloidal substance to be absorbed in the intestinal tract and go back into the blood. That's saliva. That starts in your mouth pre-digesting with starch. That's the gastric juice. It's made for protein, breaking down proteins. The bile from the liver take care of the fats. The pancreatic juice take care of starches and protein, and the intestinal fluid completes all the work. What's rule 1?
You got only consume food when you're hungry.
Only consume food when we hungry. Why is that? Because everything else is a counterfeit appetite. You're not hungry. It's a habit that's been built due to the type of culture that we in. We learn this in infancy through our parents, by our parents being taught by their parents and being taught by the medical church. The wrong way of eating. When they find out things is erroneous, to save face, they still run with it. Now either they feel like, oh, I could benefit off of money by keeping these people sick, or they just can't look like they don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to look like idiots. So they got to keep running with those theories. So why I say appetite is a counterfeit hunger is because true appetite, you ain't gonna crave nothing that the body don't need. You can't be craving some stuff. You can't be craving a cake. You can't be craving a hamburger when you're truly hungry. Because these are the things that the body don't use. True hunger, you don't even feel it in your stomach. We get these counterfeit appetites, they're habitual. We train these things. When you're a child, eating as much as you want. If your parents real nice, every time you cry for something, they stuff it in your mouth. You do that for years, then you become grown, you still eat like that. You keep eating, keep eating, keep eating, keep eating too much. We get trained by the clock, by our jobs, by the USDA. Oh, you gotta eat for breakfast, you gotta eat for lunch, you gotta eat for dinner. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes a habit by the clock. So at 12 o'clock, your body like, where my stimulation at? It's 12 o'clock. Because you trained it to do that. It's counterfeit when you think of food on a full stomach. How the hell are you hungry? Just went to a buffet. You walk past the wrong spices, I guarantee you want some. But how you hungry? Because you're not. That's mental appetite. That's 5 senses appetite. That's smelling the food, seeing the food. These are not real appetites. This is not hungry. There's a Bible parable. It goes like this: woe unto a nation who princes eat in the morning. Why is that? How the hell you need energy early in the morning? If you ate yesterday and your digestive process is still going on, your food should be broke down now to where it supplied the energy. If food was actually giving you energy, it stimulates you. So it uses vital energy, and that's the energy which comes from the nerve force. It is not the food, it's a stimulator. The food is a stimulator. It stimulates cell activity. It stimulates digestion. It calls on the body reserves of energy. In the morning, you eat a breakfast. Now you're full. Your food got to digest. That takes half of your energy because it got to goes into the work of digestion.
So how you say you keep energy?
How you get energy? Your body's automatically supplied with energy. If your body wasn't supplied with energy, you would die. It is the life force that keeps you alive. That's why when you on a fast for a long time, or people who really don't eat a lot, like in starving nations, and they still walking around, they ain't getting all that food, and they still, why? Because that's not where the energy coming from. The energy is being supplied through another force.
And what's the other force?
The sun to the pineal gland through the nerve force. That's your energy. The body is electrical. The body is magnetic.
Right.
The cells build the body. Food does not build the body. Now, a lot of people, they last longer, like our drinkers and our smokers of the nations. You know what I'm saying? They last a little longer than people who eat excessively. Why is that? A lot of times when you drink or you're drunk, you mostly worry about drinking all the time. So you're not eating. You've cut back on a lot of your meals. Some smokers, they curb their appetite. They don't eat as much. Unless they smoke weed, then they want more food, more food, more food, more food. You know what I'm saying? But that's why the drinkers, you know, you'll see they live longer than the obese people. Even though they drink alcohol, alcohol is bad too. It's a cytoplast, protoplast poison. So it destroys the cells. But the cells are able to regenerate. Also, all this overeating affects the heart. If you ever pay attention to it, when you eat a lot of food, the heart starts to pump hard. Start to pump harder, start pumping hard. Especially when it's hot food and it's spicy food, it starts to work harder. Why is that? These things are coming into your body and stimulating you. The blood starts to move swifter because it got to get to places to be eliminated. So when the blood is flowing through quicker, the heart valve got to open up quicker. So the heart starts to work quicker because the blood is going through the heart. The blood circulation has speeded up. So they say a normal heart rate is 72, 75, 92, something like that. They say that's normal. That's not normal. Who you comparing it to? If you comparing it to, if we go out in the public and we compare it to most of the people you doing your statistics on are overfed and stimulated, of course you're gonna say that's normal. You're not looking around for the true healthy people of society and then seeing what their heart rate is. When you calm, your heart rate should be slower. Now they say the athlete's heart rates on the top level at a calm level is 40 beats per minute. They'll probably say that was a weak heart. My heart beats at 62 beats per minute at a calm rate. What's rule 2?
Never eat when sick, pain, or distress.
That's right. Never eat when you're sick. Most of us gonna refuse our food anyway when we sick. My daughter's sick right now. She don't want to eat anything. She'll drink liquids. Before as food, she don't want it. That's a natural thing to do.
Well, it's an illustration that dogs give us. When a dog is not feeling well, you can't feed him.
Exactly. He's going to deny food. Who is that? That's the subconscious mind of the creator overriding yours, your conscious mind. You're not eating.
Because when you're sick, you're kind of weak, and you just want to rest. So
Right, because that's what you do. See, rest is so important. It recuperates the body. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? That's one of the biggest things we downplay is rest. We don't get enough time to rest.
Well, most people diets identify with being as a pica disease because 90% of people diets are no nutritional value. And they're suffering from a disease called pica where they're looking for nutrients and nourishments to help the cellular level to accomplish their functions. So you can identify with certain foods with their nutritional deficiencies.
So when you do these things, it impairs digestion, right? So let's think about this. If we in a restaurant and we about to eat and we hungry, we got a big meal, and I come tell you your mama died, what happens? You don't even feel like eating no more. You feel so bad, you ain't even want to finish the meal. Because when you sad, you ain't worried about eating. So it impairs digestion. You don't even want to eat. So the outcome is that when your food is not digested, I say it's going to ferment. That puts more acid into the blood. That causes carbonic gas. That causes carbon dioxide. That's when we have the spots and the gases and stuff like that. Now, another example is experiment with a cat that Dr. Candy did with an x-ray. He fed a cat and he looked at his digestive organs through the x-ray. And everything was proceeding fine, you know what I'm saying? And they put a dog in the room. Cat scared of dog. Some of them now, they got some badass stray cats now, but this particular cat, he was scared of the dog. He got scared. What it showed on the x-ray, digestion shut down. Because why? His nerve energy and his blood had to go somewhere else to deal with the fright. So the dog scared him. He can't, his food not even digested. They removed the dog out the room. Digestion started. The process started again.
That's when you're under stress.
Yeah, pain, fever, sick, stress, things like that. Don't do it. What's rule number 3?
Never exercise before. Never eat immediately or after before exercise.
Right. So most people, most dudes, they go to the gym. They're going to eat some type of peanuts. They're going to try to get their little carbohydrates in a processed form. Oh, I need my energy. It's giving me energy. You know what I'm saying? To go into that. That's a mental thing. That don't build the body. You in that strength training. That's building the body. I got a perfect example of that now. I know a dude that's 52 years old. He's a fruitarian, been a fruitarian for 4 years. Muscles on his body. How's that? Strength training. Fruits ain't even got enough protein to build muscle. Full stomach don't even like to think. It's hard to think on a full stomach. Taking your blood from your dome, it's going down to your stomach. You ain't getting oxygen to your cells in your head. The surgeons think they'll be able to close a body if it didn't heal itself? Hell no. Tell them close a dead body and see what happens. We're gonna see cuts open and shit. So normal digestion needs full attention. It needs your underbody attention. Everything has to go there. So when we eat in simplicity and we don't eat violating none of these rules, digestion can get our full attention. And the foods can get digested and not suffer any type of fermentation or putrefaction. Athletes compete on empty stomachs. Why is that? Where do you get the energy from? That's a boxing. 30 minutes of fighting. Where you getting this energy from?
Lecturers don't eat before lectures.
I just ate some grits. And they should.
Huh?
Because why? You need oxygen. And food is always an obstruction. Creates obstruction from oxygen. That everything gotta try to concentrate down here. The blood and nerve force and digestion. So far as exercise, right? I'm gonna give you another example. They took a dog out for hunting after they fed him. And they killed him afterwards. They opened him up. Let's see what's wrong. Let's see what's going on. Is this food digested? Nope. Right after feeding him, they took him out to go hunt for foxes. The food wasn't digested. They killed him. They took another dog. They fed him. They let him sit. They killed him. They opened him up. The food was being digested. It's broken down. See, back in the day, they ain't know what the stomach do. They ain't know what it was. They ain't know whether they cooked the food, boiled the food. They ain't know what it did. See, a guy got shot in his stomach and it had a hole. So they was able to look into the stomach and see what was going on. You see what I'm saying? And then they started to learn about the stomach. Because you can't learn about it really from an autopsy. That's the same thing with the organs and stuff. You got to examine the body while it's alive. Because there's a different process that's going on in the body when it's alive than when it's dead. What's rule 4?
Do not use liquid to wash down a meal. Drinking before meal is drinking before meal is excessive.
20-30 minutes prior.
Do not use liquids to wash down a meal. See, we taught this, and this is a real bad habit being taught to wash down food. Eat your food. Eat your food. Come on, man. You're not chewing your food. It's not. You're not tasting it. It's going down in chunks. There's no pre-digestion going on, right? We can walk in a lot of places and we can see people doing this is a bad habit. This gotta stop. You have to consume your liquids before you eat your food. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, but do it before you eat your food. That'll give the liquids a chance to leave the body.
About the milk concept I told you about the brothers in Africa.
With the roots.
When they drank the milk before they eat the big fish.
Oh, that's for the bacteria.
Yeah.
And enzymes. Milk got a lot of enzymes, and the enzymes help break down the food. That's why they do that.
No, I was saying, explain. They would do that before they eat large meals. What I was saying in regards to what you were saying, prior to eating meals.
Oh, doing it before?
Yeah.
But that's another reason though they do that, because milk has so many enzymes in it. You see what I'm saying? Enzymes digest food.
Yeah.
So it take a lot of slack off the body doing its own work. So another thing this do is it tricks pre-digestion because you're not tasting your food. There's no palatin, there's no amylase, none of that's being secreted. Your starch, digestion starts in your mouth. So if you just drinking it down, you ain't got no starch digestion going on. What's rule number 5?
Chew your food well before swallowing.
Chew your food well before swallowing. You got to chew our food well. You got to chew it up because we got to taste it. So tasting the food lets the body know which juice is going to be secreted. If you don't taste your food, one juice I know for sure ain't going to secrete, and that's gastric juice. Ain't nothing coming out because it relies on tasting the protein. We got to chew our food up anyway to break it down, to get it smaller, because you can't be swallowing chunks, because chunks takes what? Longer to digest it. So that's why we got things like liquids that are easily absorbed, things like puree food, like applesauce. Those things are easy to absorb because they already broke it down. What's rule number 6?
When tired, rest before eating.
Rest before eating. Why is that? Recuperation. You give your body a chance to let off all the stress from the day. You give your energies a chance to build up your nerve energy to work with the digestive process. You free from the emotions of the day when you wake up. You know what I'm saying? All the stress, all the hard work, all the bills, all the things you got to deal with in everyday life. You know what I'm saying? Those type of things get left behind when you rest. You kind of wake up refreshed, and then you should eat. And that gets normal digestion. when it's combined with the other rules that I mentioned before, the other 5. What's rule number 7?
Do not overeat.
Why is that? Overeating builds diseases. The reason people are obese, the obesity of America, is they eat too much. They are addicted to food. And as you can see, by being stored everywhere and they blowing up, the body's not digesting it. It's showing you right there. It's putting substance everywhere. In the organs, the glands, it's everywhere. I know I look at some of my old pictures. I was looking at a picture when I was marching, when a guy had got shot, and I was looking at my face full of fat. And I said, I can't believe y'all lied to me, talking about I'm fine. Like I said, it contributes to fat buildup. A lot of food causes respiratory problems. You can't breathe. See, the cells are greedy, and they got to have oxygen. They ain't worried about food. They want oxygen. They got tentacles on them. They grab oxygen. They absorb oxygen. That's what they want. That's what they need. The fat impairs the function of the hormones. It releases chemicals, cytokines, interleukin-6. It affects your blood pressure, the blood clotting, and it increases bad cholesterol. See, the body manufactures its own cholesterol. That's good cholesterol. But that excess food, them excess fats, that's the bad cholesterol. That's the cholesterol that ruins the blood vessels. That's the cholesterol that surrounds the heart. The fat starts to surround the organs, and they can't function properly. See, a healthy body depends on functioning organs that function normal. Where there's abnormal function, there's going to be abnormal health. What's rule 8?
Do not eat between meals.
Do not eat between meals. See, a lot of people say, man, I don't eat a lot. I don't even eat that much. But they snack a lot. You see, they eat a lot between their meals. Grazing on chips, drinking sodas, eating a cookie here, eating a little snack there. That's contributing to excess eating. Because see, you got the meal that one meal you might have ate today, that's still sitting in there needing to be digested. So you go eat that snack, and you tasting it. Oh, now we got to deal with this coming in. We need a gastric juice for this. So what happens? Something that was already being digested got sick. Because more than one process can go on with proficiency at one time. And some of them cancel out another. I'm gonna explain those ones later on in the rules. So, as I said, your body the food starts to ferment. That's carbonic acid. Those are the unhealthy acids. That's carbon dioxide. That's an unhealthy gas.
So if you're snacking on fruits, it's still considered unhealthy in between meals if you deal with fruits?
If you ate your meal, right, and you go eat some watermelon, before you gave it, you just introduced water, because a melon is mostly water. So now you just drunk water, actually. And what happens with that? Okay, all the juices that's in the body, you just wash that out. You see what I'm saying?
Some transit time of the meal prior to. You have transit times of each meal, each product. If they're not going to system at the wrong time, they cancel transit time.
Right. So we got, then normally when we eat these things, we violate the rule of wrong food combinations. Because we start bringing in other types of food. We start bringing in the starch, we start bringing in the protein, we start bringing in the fat, we start bringing in something that does not need to be there, that then you start to play with the rules. And the rule was simplicity and diet is the most important. Once you start combining, you gotta combine two things, three things. Try not to do no more than that. So a lot of things I was mentioning that we be eating between it, sometimes we snacking on things that contain dairy, fats from fish, nuts, And these things are hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons produce cancer. That's what these things start to lead to. The only good source of hydrocarbons is olives. Not those olives that they got sitting in the jar. When you look on the back, you read the ingredients, it's sitting in citric acid, it's sitting in phosphoric acid, natural flavors, preservatives. They just destroyed the olives. So it's really hard to actually find some olives without all that, you know? Yeah,
Cold, huh?
yeah, they make it real hard. They some motherfuckers.
But then you can't do it then.
Yeah, so now you just might as well just, hey, don't worry about the olives, don't worry about your hydrocarbons. I mean, hydrocarbon, it means hydrogen and a carbon. So we still can get hydrogen from the liquid, right? From our liquid, the water, hydrogen, carbon. We still can get our carbon from another source. So your meal that was that you had previously probably already was a hydrogen and a carbon. You see what I'm saying? See, all protein has carbon in it anyway. All plants are carbon. See, carbon structures builds up the body anyway. What's rule number 9?
Don't consume protein and fats together.
No proteins and fats on the plate. Why is that? No protein digestion goes on when you got fats on the plate.
Well, it starches.
Because you got the fat. It suppresses the flow of the gastric juice, which breaks down the protein. So guess what? The protein got to set. So that can't go on. What's rule number 10?
Do not consume sugar and starches together.
When you put a sugar and a starch together, you start an alcohol brewery in your stomach. See, a lot of people say they don't drink, but when they do that, they drink it. Because what's alcohol? Something fermented. So you start a brewery in your stomach. So you see why we have these unrealistic, fake, artificial cravings? See, we really think we craving a food, but we craving alcohol. Because that's what we always doing when we creating the sugar and the starch together.
Alcoholics.
So we really, yeah, we still being an alcoholic.
Starches is no good. We should never, black folks should never consume starch.
So then we're addicted to food.
See, most starch, yeah. I'm gonna get into that later. I'm gonna explain that. See, people, when I tell them stuff like that,
You addicted to the
we need food. We need food.
Of the food.
What you mean? You tell? Yeah, no, we food addicts. There's plenty of addictions with different things going on, you know.
Substance addicts.
So the thing with the sugar and the starches and the alcohol brewery, that was rule number 10. What's rule number 11?
All melons should be eaten by themselves.
All melons should be eaten by themselves. Why is that? Because a melon is mostly water. So whenever you put a melon with something else, you're going to have improper digestion because it's too much water. And then I see these fools eat watermelon with salt on it. I'll be going to wring their throat. I'll just be like, man, well, why? Why are you going to do that? Salt absorbs liquid. Then it's sodium chloride. It's the table salt. The worst one. It comes in the body as salt. It leaves the body as salt. Salt causes you to prematurely age. Salt causes you to dehydrate. Salt causes blood pressure. What's rule number 12?
Wait, hold up, but you can have several melons together?
Yeah. They all water. They all
Put them all
alkaline.
together, but you just can't have other fruits.
If you want to eat melons, eat them alone, all melons. Honeydew melon, watermelon. You want to put the two together, that's fine. You see what I'm saying? Cantaloupe, you want to do that, that's fine.
You just don't add no orange. You gotta add.
Well, I was always went under the rule that all melons should be eaten alone.
You're right, and that goes back to my first rule of simplicity. So you might as well, if you're going to eat watermelon, I doubt you're going to eat one whole watermelon in a day anyway.
I do put some Himalaya salt on watermelon because
I don't know why.
the reason why, because see, watermelon is a natural diuretic, all right? And you see, whenever you use sodium chloride, it's a need for our body because wherever you find sodium chloride, water follows. It helps to open up the water channels and aquaporins of the cells. So sodium chloride is an important thing. Whenever you find somebody that's got inflamed or water retardant, that's because they need sodium chloride to escort that water through the open up the channels. It is very important that we have that. That's one of the 12 biominerals, sodium chloride.
Your body already makes sodium, it manufactures sodium. Sodium holds calcium in check. Not calcium, magnesium, because it's actually magnesium that builds the body. Calcium does not build the body. When you have those fake salts, I've done a lecture in here on that, what salt does to the body. Me giving you another example of the people that I know that are fruitarians, they're not using salt and they're not having these joint problems. They're not having these leg problems. They're not having none of that going on. You see what I'm saying?
We could only use the benchmark of people who went through a process of struggles to get there. We got to use a benchmark.
We're doing things. Let me tell you something about salts. Salts ruin the blood vessels. Salts ruin the body. You can continue to use these salts. You will see the effects of them sooner or later.
So
the cells are already the nucleus. It's seawater. All the salts in the seawater is in the nucleus. You have this in your body already. That's why we have to understand our body. We have to understand what's in there, what it manufactures, what it is. It has these things already. A lot of these things we do with foods is we rob our body of these minerals, of these vitamins, of these salts when we come in here with these inorganic forms of salt. This is our organic body. It takes on organic processes. What's rule number 13?
No, 12 is do not consume 2 types of protein at breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Because protein will have its own enzyme. And if one enzyme disagrees with another enzyme, then one protein got to sit. See, there's an animal protein and then you got a vegetable protein. So one of them got to ferment because they got to sit. Because they got to wait till the other protein digestion to be complete before the other one assumes. So now it's waiting and it's sitting. That's why when we get the colonic, we still have shit coming out of us. And we think we've been eating good. See, we think we be eating good. What's rule number 14?
13, that was 12.
That was 12, it was 13.
Do not consume starch food with acid food.
Starch has to be broken down in the mouth first with the palatin. Starch digestion depends on an alkaline, pancreatic juice. When you consume an acid food with that, acid destroys the alkaline medium. So now there's no starch digestion going on. The intestinal tract is so long, and that's the reason why we shouldn't even consume starches, because by the time it gets to the what's that, the duodenum?
Yeah,
by the time it gets to that, it's already been fermented. Now you got acid in the blood. So most of the time before starch even gets out of the body or assimilated, it turns into an acid. That's why Professor Arno had the starchless mucus system. No starchless vegetables. No starchy vegetables. Why? And then most starch vegetables grow underground. So they're negative. They're not solar foods. So all those ground foods under the ground, they destroy the body quicker than the ones that are above. What that last rule was?
Don't consume the starch with protein.
Don't consume the starch with protein.
That's the biggest thing Americans do. Hamburgers, hot dogs,
Yep.
red beans and rice.
That's the biggest thing America do. Yep.
Yeah.
All the time. Starch and protein, starch and
Peanut
protein,
butter,
starch and
jelly
protein.
sandwich.
Gastric juice, which digests the protein. It's an acid. So it cancels out once again the starch. So it's too much starch fermentation going on. It's too much carbonic acid. Carbonic acid is a bad acid. If you want to lower the alkalinity of the blood, these are the things we do. That's why we see America so unhealthy. Red beans and rice. It's good. Shit, I grew up on it.
I don't want to do this.
You don't want no beans and rice? Oh, good job, man. What's the next one?
That was it.
That was 14. So, just to reflect, what's the number one rule for food combinations? Don't do it.